In this video, we're going to talk about things that you need to know before starting a YouTube channel. We're going to discuss things such as why it seems like YouTube hates your channel sometimes, what you can do about anxiety and depression as a content creator, and why it's so important to keep a positive mental attitude as a content creator. All these and more coming in this video. Stay tuned, you don't want to miss this. Being a content creator can get extremely frustrating. First, you have to come up with a good title, then you have to write out your description, and then come up with some tags, but then you have to go in and make a great looking thumbnail to win the clicks. Now it's time to record your video and then upload it to YouTube. But even after all that's done, you still have to keep up with the analytics. That way you can see where you're making mistakes, where people are clicking out of your video, so you can change that to make future videos even better. So now your video's been uploaded for a few days and it's not doing so well. It's only got a few views. And now you're starting to feel like YouTube really hates your channel. I promise you that is not the case. And here to help me explain why YouTube seems to hate your channel sometime is the man that helps you master your mobile, D. Nimmin.
Sweeney, Dunston, my man, thanks for having me on to explain this thing that is so easily misunderstood among so many people who are getting started in YouTube. And that's so many people think that YouTube hates small creators, when the fact is that is absolutely false. And if people are telling you that YouTube hates small creators, you need to stop listening to those people. So why is your channel not growing? You're probably wondering. Why am I not getting any momentum built up? Why is YouTube holding me down? What is going on? Those are questions that you're probably asking yourself. And that's why it makes sense when you hear people say that YouTube hates small creators. But let me explain to you what's really happening. Every single time someone uploads a video to YouTube, YouTube immediately starts analyzing that video and starts looking at the responses of people after they've watched that video. YouTube might show that video to 5 people. They might show it to 50 people, and immediately it's seeing how those people respond. YouTube is looking at your click-through rate. YouTube is seeing how many people are actually seeing your thumbnail versus how many people are clicking on your thumbnail. Then once they click, they're looking at how long they actually watch your video. Now, getting people to watch your video to the end, or 50%, 60%, 70%, 80% of your video, that is an art within itself. And if you're just getting started, you've yet to build the skills in order to do that. You're probably not a good enough editor yet in order to edit your video in a way that holds people to the very end. You've probably not yet built the skill of communication in order to say the right things to get people to watch the videos to the end. So when you upload your video, no matter how big or small your channel is, YouTube immediately puts that video in front of someone. 1 person, 5 people, 50 people, 500 people, it doesn't matter. And then it starts analyzing the data based on the people that see your thumbnail and based on the people who actually click through to watch it, even if it's only 2 people. But if those 2 people respond in a negative way, for example, let's say they click in and right away they click out, that's a negative signal to YouTube that says, hey, we showed this video to 2 people and they didn't like it. So guess what's going to happen? Your video is not going to continue to surface. If those people react positively, those are positive signals going to YouTube, and YouTube will continue to show your video to more people. If those are negative signals, then your video is going to sink down to the bottom of the sea. So it's not that YouTube hates small creators. It's just that you have yet to build the skills that are necessary in order to get people to click on your thumbnails and watch your videos longer than you're getting them to watch right now. If you're just getting started, you've yet to build up the graphic skills. You don't know what makes a sticky thumbnail. You don't know what's going to trigger your audience just yet. You don't know how to get people to click. That's a skill you got to learn. Then once they do click, you don't know how to hit them with a good hook at the very beginning to keep them engaged, to keep them watching. Then you got to edit your videos a certain way. You got to keep it up with a certain pace in order to keep them watching to the end. That's a skill within itself too. You also have to make sure that you're choosing the right topics that people are interested in. And of course, you have to make sure that you are crafting the correct titles. And it can be titles that are compelling, that makes people curious and makes them want to watch, or it can be titles that are geared towards search traffic, like how to do something. These are skills you have to learn. So don't think that YouTube hates you, because YouTube does not hate you. YouTube wants to put ads on top of your videos. YouTube loves everyone equally. You just don't have the skills yet in order to get people clicking and keep people watching your videos longer. So focus on those skills, keep going, you will get there. We all started at 0. We've all gone through the same things that you're going through right now, but through trial and error, through practice and through education, we learn how to get people to click. We learn how to get people to watch our videos to the end or close to it. Good luck. I'm rooting for you. Back to you, Sweeney.
Thank you so much, brother. Now, if you are serious about being a YouTube content creator and trying to make your channel successful, there is a lot of information you have to shove into your brain meat. And trying to learn all this information and then keeping up with all the changes that are constantly happening, it can get quite frustrating. And all this frustration can cause anxiety and depression. I know with me personally, shoving all this information into my brain meat, it got me very anxious, very depressed, and I got to a point where I just didn't even want to do it anymore. But then I thought about it, and I really enjoy the process. I enjoy making the videos. I enjoy talking with my community, but man, it can be difficult. But I knew that I had to get out of this funk and get back into the game. A couple of things that helped me was meditation and just stepping away, just taking a step back, getting away from the whole thing for a minute. I took a couple of weeks off and enjoyed life. And here to help explain a little bit more about anxiety and depression as a content creator and what you can do to overcome it is online personal branding coach, Professor Nez.
Sweeney Dunston, thank you so much for including me. I'm happy to bring my 2 cents to this topic. Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm truly humbled and honored. Okay, so how do you combat that feeling of burnout, that feeling of anxiousness, that feeling of, maybe even dare I say depression from being a content creator? Sweeney said it best. Being a content creator is super hard. It's rigorous. The shooting, the editing, the distribution. You have to be your own marketer, tags, title, thumbnail. I mean, it is not for the faint-hearted, being a content creator, especially here on YouTube. And there's a lot of burnout. There's a lot of people who quit way before they should because of the mental aspect. And a lot of people don't talk about the mental aspect. So I appreciate Sweeney for doing this. I know this is going to bring a lot of value to you. 2 things that I want to bring up really quickly, and I have more on my channel if you're interested in learning more. I'm sure Sweeney will leave a link, but there's 2 things I just want to make this very fast and also hopefully valuable to you. Number 1, to avoid that kind of burnout, avoid that mental kind of blockade, understand that everybody experiences this. It's usually that feeling of loneliness and isolation. We have the thought that, well, look at Nez, look at Dee, look at Sweeney Dunston, look at, all these unbelievable YouTube creators, and they seem to be putting out videos all the time, and just they seem so happy-go-lucky. Nobody sees the blood, sweat, and toil. Nobody sees the frustration. Nobody sees, doing 50 takes just to get one, frame right or one, phrase right. Nobody sees all that stuff. This is extremely hard. It's extremely difficult. And everyone, I want to repeat this, everyone experiences this feeling of burnout, this feeling of video content creation fatigue, if you will. So understanding that you're not alone, I think, is a real big breakthrough, because I think most people think that they're the only ones that experience this, that obviously if I'm experiencing this, here's where the anxiety and anxiousness and the interpretation of that comes in. Obviously, if I'm feeling this, you might think this, see if you relate to this, leave a comment. Maybe I'm not cut out to do this. If I'm feeling this sluggishness, this fatigue, this frustration, this anxiety, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. Incorrect. It couldn't be further from the truth. Everybody experiences this. It's just a part of the game. So recognize that first. And then number 2, Sweeney Dunston really mentioned this earlier, and it's quite simple, but it's so powerful. It's really important to do a self-assessment, to analyze and really understand and realize that, you need to balance this thing called content creation, this thing called video content, execution. You need to balance that in your life, okay? There's a lot of people who will talk about consistency. And yes, consistency is super important, but consistency should not be sacrificed by quality. So basically, the quality of your videos should not be sacrificed by quantity. And I see this happen a lot with YouTube creators and content creators. And they feel the need that, well, I have to be consistent, which is true. You have to be consistent to be successful, but not at the sacrifice of quality. And so if that means, and everybody's consistency is different. If that means you only create 1 video a week or 1 video a month, if that allows you to bring the most quality to the end user, the viewer, then you do that. Perfect example is Casey Neistat. Casey Neistat's one of the top vlog YouTubers on the entire platform. He took a year off. He just came back and started vlogging again. He took an entire year off. I mean, this guy was producing video after video, video every single day at one point. And he took the entire 2019 off. And everybody's like, where's Casey? Where's Casey? What's going on? Well, he actually explained this on his channel, that he had to take that time to himself, to his family, and to restore and replenish that inspiration and that hunger and that desire to create fantastic videos. And he said it was the best thing that he ever did. So understand that taking a break, you don't have to take a year off, is essential. Practice those two things. Really recognize that you're not alone. Everybody feels this. This is not an easy thing. It's very difficult for everyone. Number two, you really adopt consistency that really acclimates to who you are and how you can be the most high quality content creator you can be.
Thank you so much, Professor. Now let's talk about why it's so important to keep a positive mental attitude as a content creator. There are other people out there who also suffer from anxiety and depression, and they come onto platforms such as YouTube or TikTok, etc., and so forth, to get away. They need some place to get away from all the stress that they've been going through in the day, and when they land on your channel, they don't want to hear someone sounding like Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh. Welcome to my channel. I've had a bad day. I mean, honestly, I would click away from that too. The average viewer is not going to care what you're going through in your day-to-day life. I hate to tell you this, but most viewers are going to click away from something like that immediately. If I subscribe to your channel, it's because I enjoy the type of content that you're putting out. You may be teaching me something, you may be entertaining me, but definitely one thing is for a fact. You sound optimistic, you sound happy, and I don't have to worry about getting further into my stress just by hearing yours. Now, I know you may have had a stressful day and whatnot yourself, but make sure that when you're creating your content that you have an optimistic sound in your voice, because if you don't, people are not going to watch your videos. I hope this video has helped you in some way. If it did, make sure to leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new to the channel, and leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you need help with growing your Minecraft YouTube channel. Stay safe and stay positive. I will see you in the next one.